Hello, beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to Susan Unleashed. This podcast is for any woman who wants to live a gorgeous life on her terms and who knows that not only is being a woman enough, it is the key to everything. I'm your host, Susan Elizabeth, certified professional coach, #1 best-selling author, and Energy Leadership Index master practitioner. I fiercely support women who are passionate about elevating their lives while embracing their truest selves. Are you ready to unleash your power? Okay, welcome back, beautiful and powerful women. This week, I would like to talk about how I am the mistress of my own life. So this word mistress probably has a lot of connotations to it, and there are a couple different meanings. So it's two things. First, I want to share with you what the definition of mistress actually means. So first, it's a woman who is in a position of authority or control, a woman who has power or ownership. That's the first definition. She is always mistress of a situation, coolly self-possessed. So that's a definition used in a sentence. It's a woman who has achieved mastery in some field, a woman who is considered especially notable for something. So I'm in control of my own life. I have the power and mastery of my own life. I'm notable for sharing myself, my wisdom, and my life journey. That is how I define mistress. But I also want to talk a little bit later in this episode about how I am the mistress, how I romance myself. So first of all, let's talk about the mastery over controlling yourself in your life. First of all, so many times I've seen so many of us react, not respond consciously, but to react. So what I mean is really owning the moment. You own that space in between the thought you create, the feeling that you have as a result, and then the action that you take. You own that space. So when somebody does something or says something, you can either fly off the handle and have a reaction, or if you learn how to control yourself and to witness yourself, witness the thoughts of what you make that mean, or the triggers, the feelings that you have, and then that moment, you own that space, you own that moment. Nobody else does. You control that. You have mastery over that, which then results in an outcome. So nobody can take that away from you. That is where your power lies. Your power lies within the way you react or the way you respond consciously. It's up to you how you respond. If you want to learn how to live a ripe, wild, and fierce life, make sure that you check out my new course. When you're finished with the podcast, the link is in the show notes, so head on over to the link and check it out there. That is mistressing your life. That is mistressing and having control or mastery over a situation. That is having ownership and power over yourself, your feelings, the situation, and your life. That is keeping the power within you and not giving it away out there, like I so often did for so many years, reacting and not responding consciously. So really, I just want to talk a little bit about that because I'm a very passionate, very sensitive, very feeling person. And I used to think that people made me feel a certain way. And then when I learned your thoughts create your feelings, which create your actions, thoughts create things, how powerful I really am that I could choose a new thought. And we've talked about this in other podcasts. We've talked about it in some of our groups. And it's really presencing yourself. It's being present in the moment, knowing the triggers, knowing the thoughts that are created from what you're thinking, choosing better thoughts that serve you, feeling those feelings, and then choosing to respond consciously, owning the moment, being present in the moment, and presencing yourself in the moment. That is mistressing your life versus having an emotional reaction and it's not productive. Because we all know flying off the handle, that's not productive. If you need to vent, find a way to vent. If you need to vent, go find an outlet. Go exercise, go meditate. Take that space to breathe. Sometimes I can get so triggered. All I can do is just right here, breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Ground. Send my energy to my heart. Get out of my head. What am I making this mean? Turn it around. Make a new decision. Flying off the handle, I used to react. Not productive at all. But with a lot of practice, again, it's like training a muscle, getting fit. Training that mind muscle that you control that, right? Are you with me on this? So the other thing I want to talk about is, having that authority, being in control, having that authority and that power in your life. And that is everything from your family, your career, your hobbies, your passions, and being notable for something. Like I will mistress my life through my personal development. I am an authority figure and an expert with personal development and how to manage and show up for my life fully, unapologetically, who I am, because I've spent the time, decades, I've spent the time getting to know myself, showing up fully, falling down, getting up again, falling down again, getting up again, walking forwards, making mistakes, falling backwards. All of that. My mess has been turned into a message. I am the mistress of my life. And I have learned how to tap into my own innate power and strength within inside me and my inner wisdom, my intuition. And I listen to it and I connect to source in spirit. And I use that as a guide and I invest in myself. And when I do that, I am able to have mastery in my life. Mastery. I'm a mistress of mastery. I love it. So when you have mastery over your life, this is in all areas, your entrepreneurial journey, your corporate career, your career in your business, your family, whatever it is, the hobbies, the things that you're doing that bring you joy or that you want to go and achieve, how you're showing up for your life, what you're doing, showing up who you are being, and showing up with what you're doing, that is having mastery. That is being known for something. Like, what are you known for? Coaching question. What are you known for? What do you want to be known for? So this is, when you want to be known for something, this is either something you've really invested a lot of time and energy in, and you've created either a mastery over it because you've either done it for so long or you've been so intensely training or doing or investing in something that you've then started to create a mastery in your life. That mastery is something that will give you that authority, that will give you that expertise. You will feel empowered by this. And that's what I really mean about mistressing your life. It's a woman who's considered especially notable for something, a woman who has achieved mastery in some way, in some field in her life. It's a woman who's in a position of authority and control, right? So again, these are the definitions that we talked about. These are what these mean to me. And I also want to talk about a mistress is someone who can romance herself. So let me talk about that aspect of being a mistress of my own life as well. So this is a story. So I was single for a very long time. And I think that I had to learn. I had a great life. I had a lot of friends, still have a lot of friends. And I had this amazing life that I loved. And in between dating or relationships, I love to be at home, but I also love to go out. So when I was single, or maybe dating somebody and not around somebody a lot, I didn't want to go out and dine alone. I didn't want to sometimes go out to the movies alone. I didn't want to go do things on my own at times. I would either go out with friends or on dates or in a relationship or be at home. When I was traveling, I sometimes would travel alone because I've had to travel for work all over the world in my career. And when I was traveling, I could either sit in a hotel room or I could go out and experience life and dine out by myself or wander around by myself or go show up and do things in the city I was in or the country I was in to experience life. So I started getting more and more comfortable doing that. Now, in the days before there were smartphones, I used to take a book with me. I used to take my journal with me and a pen. And I would go out and I would treat myself to some beautiful meals. I would sit outside in a park. I would just wander and saunter the streets and just take it all in. And so when I was doing that, I became more comfortable with that. Then I would come back home, but then I didn't want to do that back home because it was so convenient and easy to just be at home and cook for myself or order takeout. But then I started just looking at life as a playground and how much fun I had doing that in other parts of the world or the country. And I started doing that even here in my hometown. I would go out by myself for dinner and treat myself to a nice dinner. And I can tell you, just meeting the people who then would like summon me over to the bar to have a drink with them after I was done eating. Or just going to the bar to, and I'm not like a bar goer, bar person, but in nice restaurants, they always have a bar. And not always, I guess I should say a lot of them do. But I would go and just sit and bring my journal, have a glass of wine, and then I would just talk to the people around me, and I would learn and get to know so many different people or things, and it created such an interesting life. So what I want to share with you is learn how to mistress yourself, romance yourself. And when I learned to take myself out to dinner and mistress myself, I became very comfortable and my self-confidence grew, my innate power grew. And I learned how to do these things, and I could apply this to other areas of my life. I even went to cooking for myself at home and then plating a beautiful table, fresh flowers. I'd light the candles, and I would dine. If you want to learn how to live a ripe, wild, and fierce lifestyle, make sure to check out my new course. It's in the show notes, so when you are finished with the podcast, head on over to the show notes and click on the link. By myself at home, and it was pleasurable. In the winter, I would turn the fireplace on. Yes, I have gas. I converted my natural fireplace to gas because I didn't want to clean out everything, but it can be converted back. I take baths with salts and oils, and if I shower, I mistress myself by putting oils on afterwards and really taking care. I dry brush. I do a lot of things that take care of myself, and I romance myself. I mistress myself, and I mistress my life. And I've gotten really good at that. Good at exquisite self-care. Good at going out and doing things for myself, whether it's dining out, traveling around, or showing up for my life. And I'm not letting anything hold me back with how I want to go live and be and to experience and to enjoy. So I think one other thing I want to say about this is, even at home, I mistress my life by even going so far as to clean out my closets and organize my closets, because then I have a very organized life. I know what I have, and I'm very intentional about what comes in and what goes out of my closets, of my life. And I make room for things in my life. Like I remember before I had met my partner, my now husband, I started cleaning out closets, making room for him. And I remember when my husband actually finally moved to the city I'm in, and we decided to move into my house because he moved to the city, and we decided not to buy a house, but he was to move into mine. I remember I was still really opening up and, being in relationships. And when he moved in, I gave him a little piece of a closet, even though I'd been cleaning out my closets for 2 years at that point, making room for somebody to come into my life. He was so kind and patient with me that, oh my gosh, it's almost embarrassing to say this, but I just couldn't fully let go of my control of my life and my life, how I designed it and created it for so long. Yet I was so ready for him, but yet I just couldn't give him the full half of his closet. I gave him a little space. And then he was so kind and so patient with me, and he never said anything. And then I finally moved the rest of the stuff out of his side of the closet. And then I gave him a whole nother room and closet. I'm like, here, you can have this. I'll take my stuff out of there. But anyways, I'm going way off tangent with that, but I just wanted to share with you that story because it came to me. But anyways, when you can come back to yourself and mistress your life, to be known for something, to have mastery over something, to control yourself and your life, and to have that mastery there, life gets so good. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because I think so many people out there mistake mistress for just being a mistress that we've probably all known, which is somebody's mistress, which is maybe a husband's girlfriend or a partner's girlfriend on the side that stays hidden, which it can be that. But I'm talking about mistress in a completely different way. So I hope you really got something out of this episode. And that's it for this week. I'll see you all in the next episode. And you beautiful, powerful women, go out and have a great life. And where are you mistressing your life? Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave me a review or share it with someone else who may enjoy it too. To stay connected with me, please head on over to SusanElizabethCoaching.com and make sure that you sign up for my tips on how to live an unleashed life full of passion and purpose. Until next time, go live an unleashed life.